Thanks for tuning in to the World XP podcast. If you're enjoying the content, please drop us up, drop a like, and let us know your thoughts below in the comments. Also, please consider supporting our podcast via the link below. It really helps us out. Welcome back, man. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing well. Just woke up, but doing great. How are you doing?
Chilling, man. The same. We both just woke up. Both have busy lives going on, but we need to get one out for the people.
Oh
And
yeah,
and you are my go-to for quick turnaround
I got
episodes
you,
for
bro.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So well, I've not seen reels from you, but I have seen you posting, oh, this is $1 million home in Orlando. So how business seems to be going well, no? This is
Yeah,
new
I'd say
new
so.
postings?
Yeah. Well, I have been posting reels. I don't know. I don't know if you follow my realtor page, but
I do.
yeah,
Um,
I've been posting
maybe
a little less. Most of my the thing I'm most consistent on is TikTok, but I'm getting better with reels because man, I think in an entrepreneurial lifestyle, this is how I don't know if I read in a book, but basically you have so much stuff to do that you try to do like everything you can, and by the end of the day, you still feel like you haven't done anything. So,
yes, dude, I feel like that often.
yeah. And that's the thing with Instagram, man. I want to keep posting reels, but part of the equation is you post what my plan was always was I post some on TikTok. I make one piece of content that I'm posting on all three: TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels.
Yeah, yeah.
But I realized, and my boy that I do a lot of content with kind of pointed out, TikTok content doesn't Instagram Reels doesn't take it the same way. Like you can post the same thing on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, but they're not all gonna hit the same because YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, like algorithm, they're looking for something different than TikTok. So it's just that
Yeah.
whole thing.
I do the same with Instagram Reels, and I'm not on TikTok really, but yeah, it's weird. Like the podcast reels don't do nearly as well as soccer ones. Soccer ones will like get up into the thousands of views almost every single time. Um, I had one reel that popped off, but not views for likes. I think it's got 8,000 views, but it has 3,000 likes,
Nice.
which also makes no sense
Just for the podcast or soccer?
for soccer. Makes no sense. Like the like to, and it, like I wasn't particularly impressed with. Like the drill is not like it's fine, and I've got one of the kids that I train doing it, but the like that like the ratio or whatever, like if it has 8,000 views, I expect it to have 500 likes, maybe something like that.
Hmm.
But 3,000, it's like that's weird. I'm not complaining though.
Yeah. No, nothing to complain about there. But I hear what you're saying, man. Social media is just like that. I think it's all about the process. You can't even get caught up in the results because it doesn't. Yeah, the one you put the least effort in is the one that's going to pop off, and then the one that you work really hard on is going to flop. So
Yeah, makes no sense. I think we talked about this last time. And I don't put a lot into it. I just know I just notice things.
yeah,
That's all. And I noticed that and I was like, oh, that's strange. But then I wasn't sitting around like, how do I get that done? The next one, I was like, oh, I just kept doing what I've been doing. But
good, good, man. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how you got to build a business. It's for the things you can't control. You just got to be excited when it goes well, but continue doing what you're doing. Stay consistent.
yeah, 100%. So what have you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been in the gym more recently, no?
Yeah, I'm getting again more consistent with it. I was rocking with a chiropractor for a bit and I've been working on stretching and stuff because I've been going through like a back issue. I think I
Hmm.
got through basketball. I mean, I like pulled my lumbar or something, man. It was no fun. But I've just been working on getting that fixed, and now that I'm kind of feeling better from it, I've definitely been hitting the weights more.
The lady I just had on HK, she got in a car accident like 25 years ago. The
Shit.
car hit her lower back, so lumbar spine. But then she started doing yoga and gone. It was
Yeah.
crazy because she was doing like physical therapy and stuff, and I don't. It was like not really working. And then she just found a yoga class at one point because it fit her schedule. And she said, I think like a year later, she noticed that all the pain was gone. She was just existing now. Apparently, according to like MRIs, her spine is still fucked, but the little stabilizer muscles that go down your back. You seen super jack dudes where it looks like they have like a six pack in the middle of their back,
Mm-hmm.
like those muscles apparently are
Yeah,
so like are strong enough for hers that it just keeps everything in place. And I
that's
asked her, I was like, do you worry like when you get older? I think she's 40, 40 something, 45 maybe, something like that.
yeah.
I was like, do you worry when you get older that when the muscles weaken that you're just gonna like your spine is just gonna like she was like, nah, I don't know. It's like, all
Well, the
right,
good
fair
thing is,
enough.
I mean, she can do yoga until she dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
not so I've been doing hot yoga. I got like a really nice studio near me, and I really enjoy doing it. I'm probably gonna go tomorrow too. Um, but dude, everybody in there, like, it's 60-plus-year-old woman for the most part. They're all just,
Yeah.
much older, but way more flexible than I've ever been. So it's pretty insane, but great practice.
Yeah, for sure. The sauna is like it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
started doing a lot of that, a lot of like cold plunge. I got this like cold plunge thingy, like one of those
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, the little
yeah,
girl
I
thing.
said it
Little
one
thing.
time and then I was inundated with ads for the next like 3 weeks. So I got the cheapest one. I was like, all right, fuck it. It's like it's not that much money. I'll get
How
it.
much was it?
100 bucks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So it wasn't that much. Like obviously being in an apartment, I gotta figure out where to probably just put it on the balcony and like they sent they didn't send me the like they have a lid that goes with it, but it's also the same material as like the blow up pool thingy, and it you just put it on, but it's very like if it is super windy, it'll blow away. So there's another lid that like covers the whole thing, and I ordered that too, and it didn't come new recover, so send it to me. I just sent them my emails, but I don't know. We'll put it outside on the thing, but I don't want it to get all polleny and stuff. But I don't know because I've been taking ice baths for lower body after soccer games.
Hmm.
But to go get bags of ice and then wait for the tub to fill up and then wait for it to drain, it takes like 30 or 40 minutes. I'll stay in there for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But by the time the tub fills and I go to get the bags of ice
Whole
and I
process.
fill the tub and the whole thing, yeah, it takes like it's too long. So with this, hope I can just leave the water in there, hop in and out for like full body, hop in and out for like 2, 3 minutes, and it's like saves me a lot of time and having to buy bags of ice and all sorts of other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We will see for sure, but I haven't tried it yet. So today probably will be the day, hopefully.
Do it, dude. It's a great practice.
Yeah, it's a discipline thing too. You have to like make yourself do it. Nobody wants to do it, but
Of course. We never do, but
no.
got to. But
Yeah, I gotta get ready for this TST. It's in like less than a month now. It's crazy, man. Never in a million years I would have thought that I would have been going to that.
T?
Oh well. Huh?
TST, you said?
Yeah, it's TBT, but soccer.
What's
You know,
TBT?
it's the basketball tournament is a 3-on-3 thing that they put on
Oh,
every
okay.
summer
Yeah.
for $1 million.
Yeah, sure. You're going to
Yeah,
that soccer?
yeah, we're playing. My team's playing.
That's hype.
So like Ryan Reynolds that like Wrexham, they're playing. There's a bunch of teams like Dortmund
You
and
might play
West
against Ryan
Ham and
Reynolds.
huh?
You might play against Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, maybe,
That'd be
maybe.
hype,
No, I
dude.
think they might send a lot of their players, their actual players. There's a lot of like the super, super big teams are sending like club legends that are older, a bit older,
Yeah.
but everyone else is sending all like just
Normal
like the
play.
US. Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be competitive for sure. And the US women's national team is sending a team.
Jeez, dude.
Um, Clint Dempsey is sending a team. Who else?
My goodness. But I mean, do you think like how do you feel about your chances in this tournament?
I have no idea, honestly. I really have no idea because there's a lot of the teams are a bit older. Like so Indiana University won the national championship in 2008 and they're doing like a reunion team, but those dudes are now mid 30s. If I did the math right, that was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
So
it's
if they're
amazing.
20, yeah, like early mid 30s. And I don't know how many of them have been playing or not playing, like what their lives are and stuff, you know?
Right.
So really I have no idea. I think we'll be decent. We'll be competitive for sure. Because a lot of our team, like we're the youngest team in the tournament, I think by a lot.
Nice.
So
That's fine.
so we'll see. We'll see for sure. And we're not even that young. Like we got some young players, but also we got most of our team is mid 20s. So physically I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
But the old heads and the experience, it's like, well, who knows?
Yeah, that's true, man. That's they can get you on that. Having that experience and knowing how to run it. I mean,
Yeah.
basketball too.
Yeah, because it's 7v7, 20-minute halves, so it's not a full game. And they're still doing the Elam ending, you know, the one where you gotta hit the target score. They do it in the All-Star game as well. So like if at the end of 40 minutes it's like 5-3 or whatever, is first to get to six. So
Gee,
it'll end on a goal.
that's tight. That's tight.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Um, yeah. So the ice bath came at the at the
Absolutely, bro.
at the right time. Um, what else is going on with you? We're not chatted in a while.
Honestly, man, a lot. Obviously real estate is a huge part of my life right now, just building that business. I started working at this spot called Kid Strong. So I don't remember my like job position last time I talked to you.
You had just quit or you had either you were either working at that restaurant, that fancy restaurant, or you had just quit, or you had just started. I don't know. One of you
Yeah,
were
I
at
don't
that
think I have a
restaurant.
yeah. So basically, I believe I had just quit and
Yeah.
I've gotten into roofing.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah. But roofing was it gave me some cool experience, but it was just very spotty. The jobs were, every now and then, and I just didn't get paid very much because it was like 1, 2 days out of the week. But I found this job at a place called Kid Strong, and it's kind of like CrossFit, but for kids. And
Mm,
it's kind of that's not even a great explanation for it because it's pretty awesome and unique what the whole setup is. It's this big like sort of gym, blue mat on the floor, kind of like a
mm,
gymnastics gym. And
mm-hmm.
then we got all these boxes, we got the little gymnastics rings hanging up, we got tires, um, all this different stuff. And for 2-year-olds, we do a class. For 3-year-olds, we do a class. For 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, up to I think 12 is the oldest they can be. And yeah, so that's what I got into last November. Crazy growth experience. I've absolutely loved it. It's a perfect part-time because I get paid really well, but the hours aren't crazy. I'll generally work like 3 to 8 because that's when our classes are.
Yeah, it's not bad. So what are you teaching them?
So obviously we run them through these courses, each day. It's each week it changes a little, but each month we have a complete like course change. So each month we switch up kind of what our they call them like superpowers are each month. So we'll be working
Mm-hmm.
on we'll do like a brain superpower and then a physical superpower. So we'll be working on math and then we'll work on jumping or we'll work on a growth mindset. That was one month, and then we'll work on upper body strength. It just depends on the month. But during the class, essentially there's blocks of time, how it's 45-minute class and it's all blocked out very specifically. So we'll do 5 minutes on our challenge course, which is like today, or not today, but yesterday I worked and we were doing front rolls. So like there's this like a wedge that's kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? It's just
Mm-hmm.
like you can unfold, it's like this big, soft, cushy wedge that
Yeah.
basically do a front roll down. And then we set up these big yellow cones. They just weave in and out of those, just run. Then we have like a 2 foot box, which we have a rope attached to this big rig that's kind of like a squat rack that's over there, but it's like really long. But then they worked on climbing up the box, the 22-foot box, using the rope. And then we worked on like lateral jumping with some
Mm-hmm.
parallettes, these little obstacle guys, and they worked on their sideways jumping.
Mm.
So that's kind of, how a course would look. And then it's like, okay, we do 5 minutes of that. We bring them to in front of this TV we have on the floor, and then we run over like a brain question. You know what I'm saying? Something about
Mm.
brain superpower for the month.
How do
And
the super young kids react to like the 2, 3, 4, 5 year olds? Are they engaged, or you kind of just, hey, we're gonna do this, and some of them do it, and some of them are sniffing whatever.
good question. Which, by the way, our superpower, brain superpower this month is sign language. So that's what we've been like working on teaching them. It's pretty cool. But
Side note, before you go,
yeah,
or before you go off that, I was watching this comedy special, and this guy at Nelson Mandela's funeral. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm pretty sure it is. But when Barack Obama was speaking, the sign language interpreter didn't know sign language, and somehow he got the gig, and everybody was really mad about it.
what?
Let me go make sure that's true.
That's insane if it is.
Anyways, keep going.
Um, wow, that's crazy. I don't know how they could let that happen. Basically, oh, so the 2-year-olds are in their own class. Like if everything is separated and our curriculum basically changes per class. So if you're
Hmm.
you got your own class of just other 2-year-olds, and we're doing stuff specific for 2-year-olds. Also, 2 and 3-year-olds, they have to have a parent with them on the floor. So,
Ah,
you
that
know,
makes way more sense.
yeah, just like you're saying, they're not just gonna go wander around, because they're so little.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 and 3-year-olds, they have a parent on the floor. They do their own thing. 4-year-olds are the first ones that are alone. And then 4-year-olds have their own thing. 5 and 6 has their own thing. 7 and 8. And then we call it KSX, which is like 8 to 11. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, it is true. There's an article, NBC News. Uh, First sentence, deaf people watching the Nelson Mandela Memorial were bemused and shocked by a quote unquote fake sign language interpreter on stage whose gestures were intelligible, activists said Wednesday. Yeah.
That's
Oh, dude, this dude made it to, there's like, that has to be the top of the, if you're a sign language interpreter, interpreting Barack Obama's speech at Nelson Mandela's funeral has to be like the Super Bowl for you, and
real.
you made it there faking it. That is something else, man.
I don't know how you do that.
I have and just the audacity, like just I don't know if they thought that they were good or if they not like did it as a joke, but like you know what I mean? Like if you do you not have any, let's see. He said the same interpreter provided sign language at South African President Jacob Zuma's speech at a military event last year.
What? How did
Ah.
they do it twice? That's crazy.
Uh, this other guy, his says Bram Jordan, a his description, why would they say it like that? A profoundly deaf South African citizen and board member of the World Federation of Deaf Youth section explained why it had been so clear to sign
Profoundly deaf.
language users. Yeah, profoundly deaf. I don't understand how he did it twice. That's even crazier.
Yeah, man. The
Like,
only good
did they not notice the first time?
that's Eric, you offer a great question. I don't know because yeah, why wouldn't they just look at this guy's like job history, you know?
I wonder if this is what happened. The event that he did for the president was only South Africans paying attention and they didn't care. And then when Obama was speaking, the activists people types over here were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so offensive to people of hearing
This
whatever they call them now." I don't even think I'm pretty sure they're still called deaf people, but you know what I mean. I wonder if that's what happened.
Potentially. I don't know, man.
Man, people get mad at the most random. Like that's not random to get mad at, but also it's kind of funny. Damn.
Yeah.
So the parents are like, you're saying, okay, we're gonna go over here, and then the parent of a 2-year-old just like picks them up and puts them down at the other place because
They
they're
gotta
not
be
paying
able to
any
walk.
attention.
If a kid's in our class, they have to be able to walk.
Well, for sure, but you know how toddlers are. Sometimes they don't want to move.
Yeah. Well, it depends, man. I mean, you're exactly right. If a parent needs to do that, there's parents in our 3-year-old class that their kiddo really doesn't, like to follow the directions. So they have to pick them up and just really be hands on. But it depends. There's some amazing 2-year-olds that we
Hmm.
ask them to, and they just get it right up and walk over. It's a wide, and that's why it's so fun. And I feel like I grow every day over there. Such a wide experience of different kids and what they're going through, and things like that. So
Yeah. The reason I ask is I coach like 10-year-olds, and I don't think I could get all of them to do that. Like, how would you get a 2-year-old? Well, I guess fair enough. It makes sense if you're engaged, there's a TV.
hmm.
Um,
Part of the thing is
I
too.
like that you guys put in the mental stuff too, because that's super important.
For sure. I agree. I mean, that's part of the reason I love it. Yeah, it's because it's not just like we're bringing these kids in for a gym session. We're really trying to help them grow and become better individuals. And I've seen
Hmm.
that. Like I've seen in kids, that when I first met them, because I started about 6 months ago in November, and when they came in, they were, or when I came in, they were unattentive. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to do anything that we were doing in class, but they just continue to grow. And getting compliments from parents and stuff that are really appreciative and thankful, and they see we do the work, and then they see it play out at home and stuff like that.
Mm.
Feels great.
How long is the class? Like 30, 40 minutes?
45, yeah.
45 minutes? Yeah, it's not bad. It's good. I think one of the most important things about that probably is you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys have talked about this or not, like as a company, but the making kids still want to learn before school ruins it for them later. Um, I don't, have you guys talked about that?
A little bit. I think you make a good point, kind of us compared to what school offers. Um, I agree with you because I just feel that, when we everything so far that we have done for brain
Hmm.
work has been just like you're saying, legitimate life skills. We literally did a growth mindset month where we were working on the things you say to yourself. Instead of saying I can't do it, you say like I can't do it yet, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The, with all of the monthly changes in programming, and if it's math, if it's ASL like this month, just like you're saying, yeah, we're not teaching these kids like I don't know, some random English like grammatical rule or something like that. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
school, yeah, they could easily kind of hate it. So I wish I had it when I was a kid, but that's
How
okay.
were you with school when you were in school? Were you just like, oh, I'll get through class and go do other things that I care about, or did you like it, or you hated it, or
It was cool. I did fine in school. I didn't like I wouldn't say I excelled, but I had like a 3 something GPA, and I I,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I learned at a young age that about some things you can bitch as much as you want, but you just have to do it. So like, shut up. You can either just do it or just I don't know, keep complaining. I was never one to just not go to school type thing and like fail.
no, for sure. But did you, at one point when you were like super young, you enjoyed learning and figuring new things out, and then school was kind of like,
Oh yeah, dude. I think that you make a great point. This is actually a really fun topic. I feel we can get into when it comes to school, and I think college. I think about this a little more just because I remember it since it
hmm
was sooner in the past. If that makes sense. You understand what I'm
English.
saying? Uh, like you look at your classes and stuff, and you think, when am I ever going to use this for some stuff? But also, just like you said, I'm just here to get the degree or to graduate or whatever. But now getting away from that and like being out of school and still having some friends I talk to that are, oh yeah, I'm going to class, I'm doing XYZ. I think, man, I wish I had that back for a couple of reasons. One, when you're in school, nobody's pressuring you to do anything else. There's no prep when you're in school. Mom and dad at home are just, oh, they're in college right now. They're in school right now. It's okay
Yeah.
to be doing whatever the hell you want. They'll say that. But number two, to your point, um, I don't think you appreciate the opportunity to learn from people who are experts about topics until you don't have it anymore. Because
Yeah.
now, like, I think it'd be cool. It's cool to find a class to do something and learn something new. I think it's part of growing, but you don't get that in such a obvious package. That's like, yo, here's college. Just go to college to learn a bunch of stuff. Um, but also, not to just go on a tangent about this. When you're in college, you're kind of doing it a lot of times because you are forced or because you feel like you have to. And when we choose our majors, we don't even know if that's really what we want to do. And I think you got to get out in the real world, like I've been, to learn what direction you actually want to go. It's easier to learn new things when you want to learn those things. Like that specific topic is something you're interested in.
Yeah, 100%. That like going to yeah, I also wish I had it back to some extent. But then I look back and I'm like, I took a class because it was a writing intensive class in like Appalachian folklore. It's like I don't care.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
don't it doesn't I think I got a B plus or a name like I sure. But to your point, it's like there's no way for you to like the paperwork that it created for you. Like we could create our own major at Wash, but the paperwork and the sign off that you had to get to do it was so extensive. If I remember correctly, you had to get a couple professors to sign off on it, and then you had to build your own like curriculum. And it was when you're 18 or 19, you're like, nah, I'll just pick one of the other ones
Yeah.
for the
No,
most part. Like, did you know anyone that made their own? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that made their own.
maybe, man. Maybe I feel like maybe I've heard of it once, but just like you're saying, and the thing is too, when you think about it, you're making your own, but the process is just picking a bunch of classes that already exist. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like you can only go so far. I mean, what? And then you think, is this major really that far off from that major? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know, if I want to do a major about public speaking, there's already a communications major.
Yeah. With public speaking classes in it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I very much enjoy doing the reason why I've been doing this for so long, the podcast, is because I get to learn from, but it's, I get to learn from people that I want to learn from, and I
Yeah.
get to learn about subjects that I want to learn from, and also I learn better this way when I can ask questions in the way that somebody says something to me and I said like, "Hey, wait, can I ask you about this specific point?" And I'm not in a class going, "Is that going to be on the test?" Probably not. Okay, I'm not going to pay attention to it. Because
Yeah.
that's kind of the mindset you get in with a lot of classes, or at least the one that I did. It was like, "Is this on the test?" No. Okay, I don't care.
Oh, dude,
And
to the point that you have classes that are like a three exam setup, you know what I'm saying? It's like
mhm.
you just got three exams for the year, that's your grades. I don't go to class. I don't go. Let's keep it a buck. You got a three, four exam class. What am I doing when I don't go to class? I'm figuring out how to cheat on the exam. I'm just figuring out, oh well, I know the professor's not in class while we take these exams.
Yeah,
Just gonna go in, day of the exam, take out my fucking phone and go on Chegg and get off. So like that yeah, when you don't want to learn, yeah, dude. To your point, actually, exactly. My senior year, I believe first semester senior year. No, or maybe it was junior, regardless. For my major and for whatever intensive, whatever gen ed requirement, I had to take a
hmm,
class about music in the like medieval ages or something like that. Bro, I ended up with like a C or C plus, studied a little bit. I tried to get into it but dude, I did not care, you
yeah.
know?
You know what's wacky about that is I I wouldn't actually mind learning about that, but not in that setting.
Yeah.
Like I took a class uh called History of Math, and everybody hears that and they're like, "Oh my God, that sounds like the worst thing ever." It was actually quite interesting, and the teacher was pretty good. But like that's something where there's classes like that that I'd love to know like the answers to. It's like how did they come up with that? Or how did they come up with that? Or why did that music get played with that when that Pope was there? Because he didn't like some other guy who liked C notes or something. It's like
Right. Interesting.
it's super interesting stuff, but like in the setting of a classroom where
You can, yeah.
you're supposed to memorize stuff, it's like, okay, I don't need to memorize medieval music, but like it's interesting
Hmm.
because there's so much history that goes into it. It's like, okay, the music of Spain changed because the Muslims were like they invaded in 800s, 900s, and so like there's regions of Spain where it's mixed, like southern Spain, like it's
Yeah,
mixed and the culture's mixed.
facts.
And like
Yeah.
that's an interesting thing to hear because I was in band and I know how to read music and all sorts of stuff. So that stuff is interesting to me, but to learn it in a classroom in that way, that would be horrendous.
Yeah. I read a cool quote that said something like, it's crazy that over, however 200 years of schooling or however many years we've had school, we haven't figured out a way to teach kids stuff without stressing them out or without boring them to death. And I agree, man. I mean, in this period of time, we can't figure out a way to make school like less frustrating and less useless in large part. Um, but also we're moving in that direction. To your point, to what you're saying though, I definitely agree. Different settings and the way that information is conveyed. I'd be down to learn the history of music over like a glass of wine with a buddy of mine that knows a lot about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sitting in a classroom and just getting talked at.
Yeah. I don't know how much of that is me being more mature now and how much of that is other factors because I think it's probably some of both, right? Like my attention span is longer now.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think there was some quote about public schooling that there was somebody like the Rockefellers or somebody kind of made it up to make people be good at working in factories or some shit like that. I don't remember hearing exactly the thing, but yeah, it's an interesting dilemma now for because I wonder that. It's like when I have kids, what am I gonna do with them school wise? Because
Right.
homeschooling is so much work. Um, but then you look at school and our experiences in school. Mine generally, I would say neutral at best. So like, I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, what
Yeah.
do you do? What do you do with that?
But then you need the socialization from somewhere for your kiddo.
Oh, for sure. So that's the flip side where it's like your kid has to be out and doing stuff, and that's where I send them to your send them to your class.
Yeah, man.
But
You do our best, but even just like you're saying, brother, you can do 2 days a week if you want, but that's an hour and a half every week of like
yeah,
being
it's not
kid.
enough. It's not enough really.
And you can tell sometimes, man, too. Don't worry, I love all these kids and I treat them all great, but like if I find out a kid is homeschooled, I look at their actions during the day and I say, it makes sense. We got one kid and he's not a bad kid at all, but he's a little weird, you know. But
Yeah,
it just is what it is. He'll
we're
be
all a little weird.
right on. That's true.
Yeah. No, for sure. And there's that stigma, like when you get into high school and the kid that's been homeschooled up to middle school shows up, you're like, "Ugh,
Yep.
that kid was homeschooled."
Yeah, right. Yeah. I met some weird homeschool kids. Not to, say anything against them. I've also met just recently one of the people that run our like center at
Uh-huh.
kids. They homeschool their kid, but their kid is like the coolest little guy in the world. So
Yeah, I
it's
don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's like whatever. It's really weird, man. It's like because every kid is different. Every kid has a different set of personality, like traits. Every kid is interested in different things. You got to sort out what is best for that kid.
individual,
And
right?
sometimes school is not that. Sometimes homeschool is not that either. Sometimes they need like the socialization more than the learning environment. Like for me, that's what college was, to learn how to live by myself and to just be an adult
Yeah.
and not go home and have my like, oh, there's food in the fridge because my parents bought it, or the like, oh, my parents figured out this and that, and like to start figuring things out by myself. So, like that's what college was super important for. By the time I graduated, I was like, I'm not going home. I don't need to. I'll find a job by myself and work by myself and find a place to live by myself. And so that was what was important for that. I never looked back. I think by the time I was a summer between junior and senior year, I was like, I know how to exist in the world
That's fire, dude.
and not get myself hated
Killed.
or killed. Yeah.
Dude,
But
same, same. Right in that summer after I graduated, I moved out, and this is a great decision. I mean, I tell it's so interesting, man, because I still, being 23, I still know people that are either in college or that are living with parents post college, and I just tell them, you got to move out just to see what it's like because it's all the stressors of it not being your place. Like, I wouldn't give that up for anything.
no.
It's just having rules and stuff, dude. I'm 23 years old, man. That's just nothing against parents, but I can't deal with it.
hmm The other thing that it made me do was not say, okay, it's my apartment. There's something wrong with it. I have to sort it out myself. There's nobody for me to go ask.
Mhm.
Like I could ask them for advice maybe, but I still have to go do it.
Yeah.
And there's no one coming. It's just me. So,
Microcosm for life, brother.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
think part of that was just how I was when I graduated, when I wanted to figure stuff out by myself. Um, I don't know. Everybody's path is different for sure. Because you went the full like I don't think I would have moved all the way to Florida right after graduation. I was like, I'm staying in this area because I know I can find a job here and I know what the area is like and I'm familiar with it. And it's not home, but I'm good with XYZ
Yeah.
things, settings. Like I'm not gonna jump to the deep end of like when people say, yeah, I'm sold everything I have and I'm just gonna drive in a U-Haul to Boulder, Colorado. I'm like, damn, not me.
Yeah, man. Boy, I mean, it's not as like it's I don't know. I had some slight ties down here from when I did the college program, um, for Disney. But
Yeah.
uh realistically, man, I would say every single person should leave their hometown. You know, there's so much I can say about the narratives that you tell yourself and the history you have. I mean, even if it's positive, you gotta, I think, not just you, but like anybody. I mean, you're not even in the hometown, right? So,
I
um,
mean, not really, but it's still Northern Virginia. I don't know. It's Northern Virginia is hard to say
it's
whether
hard to
it's
get
your
away from,
hometown or
dude.
not.
Well, listen, let me tell you some real stuff. We didn't talk about this because
Mm,
you haven't interviewed me since. So, homecoming, when I went
hmm
back to homecoming for Mary Wash, dude. I saw some people I really liked and old friends and stuff. But dude, I was over it before I even, I went to Jay's that night for like a half hour with Jacob. And I was
Yeah.
looking around and I was like, so in college, there was a lot of people that I thought were like cool, I guess. And you know how it goes. You get to know a lot of people and you're kind of friends with them and you just see them at parties, whatever happens. So anyway, I'm back and I'm looking at all these people and I say, look, being the best way, I don't care to talk to like any of you. And it's not like I have anything negative against them, but there's certain experiences and a certain level of growth that we all hope to go through that I
hmm
don't think you can have if you live in the same place your whole life.
hmm
'Cause you believe and follow the same things you always have believed and followed. And that's, all love to them, but you know, it's looking back at college and Mary Washington, uh, that it was just college. It's like you have sex with girls, you're a cool guy, or I don't know, go to the gym a lot, and you get buff, cool guy. The value and the way you live life in college is just way different than obviously real life, which is cool. But some people, I guess, get a little stuck in that, or you can tell they haven't grown past it yet.
Yeah. 100%. It's yeah, it sucks when it's people that you were close to as well. You don't want them to be there. There's only so much you can do at some point though.
Lead a horse to
Um,
water.
yeah. And it's weird. I think I mentioned this to you last time that you were on, but the people that I've started to spend, like if I look at the people, like the 12 most recent text messages in my phone now versus 2, 3 years ago, everyone in it is creating something or building something. Like one of them is Lucas, who owns Virginia Dream, which is the team that I play on. And we're talking about not just stuff on the field, but off the field. Like, oh, how are we going to get this sponsorship done? How are we going to do that? Then it's you. That's my cousin Chris, who works for a biotech company. Jason Ford, who's doing loads of stuff in the community. Like, and he's probably stretching himself way too thin, to be honest. He was telling me
Yeah.
last time he was on, yeah, but he's doing all sorts of stuff. Obviously got some work people, and then it's like clients that I have. So like I'm training their kids. Um, Aisha, who's running her own personal training business, and she's got sponsors and all sorts of stuff. Guy I know
Awesome.
from that I met at a soccer tryout named Zach, who bought his own, like, it's not FedEx, but it's a local shipping thing. So he's a soccer player, and he was like, "No, I want to have my own business." So he kind of put some money down on that. And he runs it by himself. Like all the people that are in here now are doing stuff,
Yeah.
and I feel like the people I'm surrounded myself with now are not the same as what it was in college. Like even do you remember Gerber?
I don't think so.
Gerber was friends with Mikey. Super weird kid. Gerber, if you watch this, love you, bro. But now he's got his own masonry. It's like his company builds patios and stuff and
That's
decks in the backyard. Man's got season tickets to Wizards games. He's killing it. And I've talked to him now like fairly often, and I don't talk to anybody else really from that. Like there's a few other people that I talk to a lot from um that if you looked at the friend group at the time, you would be like, oh no, but like they're just gonna do their like you wouldn't think I'd be talking to them, but they're doing stuff with their lives and it's interesting to like stay in touch. I don't know. It's cool how the circle of you can tell just by like the top 10, 15 people in your text messages. You like take screenshots every 6 months.
That's a
It'd
great
be
point, man.
it'd be cool to see. I haven't done that. I didn't take the screenshots. I thought of that right now, and I'm probably not gonna do it. But
That's okay.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it would be interesting to see.
Oh yeah. No, 100%, man. I think just goes with growth, surrounding myself with growth mindset people, people that are going to en enrich and nourish my life and my experiences and my mindset. That's something we're all striving for.
Hmm. You notice that as well in your own life with the people that you're surrounding yourself with, both in the real estate stuff, but outside of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely I'm a social guy and I love getting out and talking to a lot of people, being around people and stuff. But dude, I got to drive a $350,000 Lambo a few days ago because of I set up a meeting with this guy about some real estate stuff, but it's stuff like that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And then that evening I had clients that took me out to get sushi and wine. And it's like those experiences come from, being great at your business, working hard at your business, and then being able to surround yourself with those like people. This is kind of like an end around to this point, but one thing that I really like that I've heard from some mentors in real estate is that the real foundation to real estate or I think it's just any entrepreneurial career is personal growth and self-development because no matter what direction you want to go with your career, that's going to be the base of it all is that you're working on yourself as a human being to be better. And then that's just going to basically cause you to skyrocket in whatever it is you're trying to do. And I believe that, I look at this couple that took me to get, this awesome dinner. I can't have the conversations with them that I do. I can't have the relatability with them that I do or the confidence in communicating with them that I have if it's not for reading self-development books and working on myself and kind of practicing what I preach. They say the person you are is who you are when nobody's watching. So it's like
Mm,
I can't just come to a showing with them and then fake it. In my day-to-day life, I got to be consistent with the gym. I got to be watching my habits. I got to be working on myself as an individual. Because then, these affluent mid or lower 40s, they're like hot
mm,
upper 30s, lower 40s year old people. They're like, yo, this guy's just a teenager, like trying to do real estate. We're good. You know what I'm saying? But no, I have really good conversations with them because they can tell, this is part of my life and this is the person I want to be. So I think when you grow yourself, people are just going to pop up in your life that, you are what you attract. So when you grow yourself, you're going to bring more people around you that are in the same boat.
yeah, for sure. That's really good insight as well. Because you're not communicating on the same wavelength with those people if you're not already in it. You can't like that's a tough thing to fake in a conversation, being on that wavelength of communication,
Mm.
and people can tell. Um, sometimes it's easy to talk it also a little bit, but it's very easy to tell afterwards. Like if you're trying to like for in your example, if you talked like a good game and then you weren't responsive to emails or you weren't like any of the other, it would be very easy to tell very quickly that
Come disheveled, late to the
yeah,
show and stuff like
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
and
To
even
keep
and
yourself.
I'll even let me give you one more, man. So we ended up going to three different new construction communities.
Mhm.
I'm no expert, but I knew a decent bit about them all because I'd gone to all of them to record content. And I've
Yeah,
taught sales reps before. And again, that's all stuff I'm doing on my own. If I didn't do that, I got nothing for you. I'm taking them to these communities and it's like, I don't know shit. So that's part of it. You just if you're putting in the work to be, especially in this industry, it's fairly cut and dry. It's like you either know the area and what's here and you're a real estate professional, or you haven't done the work to study it. So
that's interesting. So what made you go to those to make content? Is it just something like is it a goal of yours to hit every area and making content is just a nice way to get something else out of it also?
well, I mean, yeah, I would probably flip that. It's more so it's hard to just say I'm gonna go to, let's say, St. Cloud. That's an area. I'm just gonna go over there and like get dinner and walk around. You know what I mean? It's not. It's kind of harder to do that. But if you say there's these, and this works really well here. There's not as much of this in Virginia, but there's new construction. There's a lot of new construction communities. So we just say, yo, we're gonna go to this new construction community that's in St. Cloud. And while we do that, obviously we're driving all around and we're seeing, okay, there's a shopping center right here, this school's over here. Oh, St. Cloud High School, what's this rated? How are the school ratings over here? And then you can get a pretty well-rounded knowledge just by going. I've been to probably all the suburbs within an hour of me. I've probably been to each one like twice. You could point one out on a map, and I give you a basic, information about what it has to offer. So
That's really good, especially when you're searching for houses. People are like, oh, I want a single family house with this kind of yard and want to make sure the school is good and grocery stores within blah 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 minutes. And you're like, got you.
yeah.
That's good. That's good, man. I'm happy for you that you've done that. I don't know how I mean, I feel like you know that you did it, but also to actually go do it is another thing. So good job.
No, I appreciate it, brother. It's always a juggling act, right? For appreciating yourself and taking action because you
Yeah.
never want to appreciate yourself so much that you get complacent. But dude, another thing that's funny, just in that exact sense, it doesn't matter how much you get preached to about complacency, everybody gets complacent at some point. Just like you get some good deals one month and you're like, dude, let's just cruise. You got a bunch of money in the bank account. Let's just hang out. Let's chill. And then you get complacent. It happens. It doesn't matter like how many people say it. You just do it. It's insidious. But
Yeah. I do that with podcasts. I'll get like part of it is because I want to keep the conversations current, but I'll get three or four good ones and I'll be good for 3 or 4 weeks. And then I'll be Hey Zane, can you come on tomorrow morning? I forgot I was going out of town and I don't have anything.
Yeah, man. Real estate's the same way. You prospect now for people in 6 months.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I don't prospect now, I don't feel it now. I
Hmm.
feel it in 6 months when I don't have any business. And I'm like, oh, that was the month I went on the vacation and then I had the deal the month before, so I didn't do much. And now, oh, that's what happened. Just like you're saying, you get the four, and then when you hit that point where you're like, oh crap, I got stuff this weekend, I can't do anything. What the heck happened? Oh, it's when I had those 3 episodes stacked up and I just thought everything was good. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
tough. But just like you said, bro, it's part of building a business.
Yeah. Half of it's that, half of it's I don't want to have conversations recorded for now for release in like August because some shit might happen that
Yeah.
it's like the conversation maybe not pointless, but there's people that you got to get like the reason why I have you and Jason and some other people on the back burners because a conversation like this is kind of timeless. Like the sign language thing that we were talking about happened 10 years ago. So it's whatever. But like we're not talking about current events, which is why I keep you guys on kind of it makes sense. So I kind of stack you guys as episodes if I need one, release it, try to plan ahead, but also try to not have too many of you guys in a row, keep things balanced out and kind of different every week, see what's up. But I don't know. It's fun. Scheduling and finding guests for sure is, as I'm sure the same, finding prospects is the hardest part. And then once you get one, then you kind of,
Uh,
I don't know, it's the same as finding an interview almost, I feel like, for a job. It's like once you get the interview and you're good at talking about yourself and what you've done, then it's just getting into the whoever's office it is or getting something on the books or getting finding a prospect. And then once you do that, then it's kind of like you do what you do and you close the deal. So I don't know.
in a way, bro, real estate is not that easy.
Real estate for sure, no. I'm just not saying it's easy, but
Well, not.
is it easier to find a prospect or once you find a prospect to close a deal?
It's a great question. I'd probably say it's easier to find a prospect. Closing the
Well,
deal,
never mind, scratch what I said then.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I totally do hear what you're saying, but let me explain why that is. So it's almost from a fishing standpoint, when you find prospects, it's kind of like when you throw out one of those like nets and then you bring it up and you get like 500 fish, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas closing the deal is like throwing out, your bait, and then you get this freaking like shark on the line, and you're trying to like reel it in and do everything it takes to like get it in and stuff like that. Because with prospecting is, if anybody's a prospect, dude. That's the way that I've been taught in real estate. The person behind you in the coffee line is prospect. So that part's not that hard. I put up a TikTok. I've had TikToks blow up for like 250K views and I get, 50 prospects off it. Again, we can get into like what's a prospect. If a person messages me about a prospect about a property, is that a prospect? How serious do you have to be to become a quote unquote prospect or whatever? Um, Closing the deal, there's about 8 million different things that like go into it. And for any number of reasons, a person
Mm-hmm.
will back out. They will, or for no reason, dude. I thought my strongest lead was in town like last week.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was in town a few months ago. And he's from Cincinnati. When he's here a few months ago, we have showing set up. A few months ago, suddenly he ghosts me. Get a hold of this guy like a week later. He says, "Oh man, he's got a great job. This guy's pre-approved for $900,000." And he says, "Hey, my job ended up flying me to Minnesota and then Britain. So just very randomly, we had like these quarterly reports or something that had to be done, something like that. I'm so sorry." But then again, this is a few months ago. I'm coming April 29th or something. Be
Mm-hmm.
there, that week in early May. Let's do showings then. Had these showings set up for months. Been sending him houses for multiple months. This guy, we're about a week away. This was like a few weeks ago. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna send you a list of houses that we have that we like." So this is kind of what you got to do. You can't show them 20 houses. You got to come down to like 5 or 6 that you absolutely love, and that's what we'll go see. And each day goes by, I'm like, "Hey, send me that list. Send me that list." to the point that we're talking like last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking. He got in to Florida, okay. Tells me, hey, I'm over at Disney Springs doing X, Y, or Z, getting some drinks, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Make sure you send me that list. And Tuesday comes, we're gonna do showings on like last Wednesday and last Friday. Tuesday comes, radio silence. Haven't heard
Damn.
since. And this guy I've been talking to, following up with 4 months. And like I said, I thought he was my quote unquote strongest client, but he'll do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
what that's the first time it's happened to like somebody that strong and to that extent, but it can happen to anybody, man. And they won't, the thing is, they're not even ghosting. This guy watches my Instagram stories all the time. And I feel like I'm chasing this dude around like an ex-girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, you're watching my Instagram stories, like what's going on here? But it's the name of the game and it teaches me a lot. I can't take anything personal. I've been and you can't uh, what I really like that one of my mentors says is it's not in the or I'm sorry, I'm getting screwed up. You don't get the results you want, you get the results you need. So
mm,
for me, that just teaches me something. Hey, it taught me at the end of the day, they're not all going to hit, no matter how hard that you follow up with them, stuff like that. It's not always going to work out, and you just got to kind of bite that. But personal growth and development, I feel like I've been growing a tougher skin, each day, and we're just gonna. That's why you got to have a bunch of them in the pipeline, so that one
yeah,
through, you got another one working on listing another house right now. So, and then I'm there. Once they sell their house, they're gonna buy with me as well. So it's like these people came up pretty quickly, and it's exciting. Just got to keep juggling it.
for sure, man. For sure. Well, we've done we both have to start our actual days now. So it's been good talking to you, man. Good to catch up for sure.
Always is, brother.
Um, I know we've put it on here a gazillion times. Where can the people find you?
At Zane the Realtor on Instagram, TikTok. You can look that up on YouTube and you'll find me. So yeah, Zane Burk, personal
Fair
growth.
enough.
Hit me up, guys. Buy a house in Florida.
For sure. Put the link in the description. Dane, as always, a pleasure. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.